So let's hold on to that, Art, because maybe that is a way to think about this without naming it. So say that just one more time. It's an interaction between two people. Go ahead.
It's an interaction between two people. And I would say that it has a framework, it has purposes and skills related to it. But the intent is to solve problems, to improve performance, to build a stronger person, to help them become even more effective in whatever role they are playing. And so again, I'm trying to not use that word, but that's what I mean. You all have been coached. You all have been working with people who have made an influence on you and who have used their skills to help you grow. And so think about the ways that they have done that. And what we want to do is to use the habits of mind to help other people grow and prosper and become even more proficient in what they're doing. Now, what we call it, I don't know. I'm suggesting that we not call it coaching, but we call it something else. So it's a whole new framework that we want to consider. And I think the skills that a person in this role plays can be drawn directly from the habits of mind. We certainly listen to each other with understanding and empathy. We ask questions. We are able to cause people to draw forward previous experiences, previous successes. We want them to take risks. In other words, all of the behaviors of the habits of mind are the behaviors that a person would use to interact with another person and to improve their performance.
So let's invite people to just kind of think alongside that. What are some of your thoughts as you listen to what Art is saying?
When I hear the words come alongside and interact and the idea of more than one person, the word collaborator.
So that's a strong word. I'm taking notes on it so that we have it. So one of the things is that we're thinking that one of the attributes of a relationship like this would be that it would be somebody who's willing to be very collaborative. What are some of the other things that we associate with a role like this?
I was thinking of two words. One was facilitator some way and mentor. In my business, I am called a coach. My company is called Learning Arts Coaching. So it's interesting to me to unpack that term a little bit with all of you tonight and think about what that actually means. So, thank you, Art and Bena, for that. Facilitator, mentor, those are the two words that come to mind.
Michelle, as you think about it, you're saying that in a way it might be distinguishable from a coach. In what ways might it be distinguishable? Is a coach in your mind also a facilitator, also a mentor? And if not, what makes it different?
Right. Well, it's interesting because one of the form of coaching that I follow is called coactive coaching. And so it is very much, it takes on the attributes that you're talking about, Art, in the sense that it's collaborative. It's not, it's not a coaching form in which a person moves the action forward. It's a coactive environment in which it's highly collaborative and the coachee is moving the action forward as much as the coach is moving the action forward. So I have such a different view of the term than what you were positing, which it was interesting to me to see it from a different angle. But that's, in coactive coaching, it is very much an exchange, and because habits of mind form the basis for what I do, the habits are the vehicle through which coactive coaching happens. So that, but what I've been thinking about as you've been speaking.
I think that's great. I think we ought to get down what are those behaviors that this person that you're talking about uses. For example, you use the term collaboration, and I would certainly agree with that. All we have to do is change a few words and call that thinking interdependently, because that's one of the terms. So,
that's right.
So a habits of mind mentor, and I'm being very cautious about using the words,
Mhm.
a habits of mind mentor is one who would then use that vocabulary in the interactions about the habits of mind. That'd be
Yeah,
one of the
right.
attributes.
I'm also really intrigued, especially Michelle, as you started to just so thoughtfully describe the connection in your work, the distinction between authority and expertise, and starting to see how that sort of resonates with the group. Because as I was starting to listen in and imagine what you were talking about, the notion of facilitator and mentor, they have a little bit of a distinction, but I'm starting to imagine that a mentor potentially sort of has a level of expertise, but doesn't necessarily have an authority or a supervisory
Right,
position. So
right.
I'm just curious to
Well,
the
this
group.
is one of the interesting things about coactive coaching too, which I think mentorship also kind of assumes, is there's when you go into the relationship with the coachee or the mentee, it's your bedrock assumption is that that person is whole, that they are resourceful, and that they have the creativity to move forward in whatever change they're trying to make happen. So it's not a position of this person is in need of help and I'm here to help them. It's this person has all of the attributes of a person who can make things happen, and I am kind of along for the ride, supporting them with the habits of mind so that they can change the habits in their lives and move it forward. So it's very different kind of viewpoint. And I would imagine as a mentor, you have to make those assumptions too, that that person is whole, that they are creative and resourceful.
I think there's something
effective.
kind of tricky about all of that, though. So I just want to sort of raise it, because as much as we believe, and I think what I'm gathering from this part of the conversation is that we have a set of assumptions about the other as most as we do a set of assumptions about ourselves.